In a world where fame destroys, where propaganda exists like never before and the youth being more enlightened, there's very few that match up to Brett Cooper's caliber.
What were you into as a kid?
Everything. I basically did everything because I was homeschooled, so I had the time to do so many things. So I was obviously into theater, and I was a dancer, so I did ballet, I was a competitive gymnast, did community theater, singing lessons, was super weird and outdoorsy. I was like the homeschool kid that was like sitting under the tree.
Born on October 12, 2001, Brett Cooper spent her formative years in Chattanooga, Tennessee. At the age of 10, she moved to Los Angeles to pursue acting, securing roles in various films and TV series over nearly a decade.
Did you enjoy acting?
The art form itself, I love it. I did more TV shows than film, so I did the reboot of Heathers, which is probably my biggest thing that actually got canned because it was too anti-woke, which is weird. It was kind of ironic that I got to do something that was politically more aligned with me, I think unintentionally, but they were making fun of woke culture when they were rebooting the classic cult movie Heathers into a TV show and really flipped all of the woke stereotypes on its head. And we were supposed to come out around the time that the Parkland shooting happened. And because there's gun violence in Heathers, they scrapped it and basically recut the entire TV show, took out a lot of the offensive parts, and then aired it. And then Paramount said, you're not doing another season. This was too politically incorrect. So in a way, that was sad because that was supposed to be this entire cast. We were all working actors, but none of us had been never had that skyrocket. Now oh my God, you're a public figure, like a household name. And it was supposed to be, that was the project that was supposed to do that for us. So it was sad in that sense, but it also kind of feels like a badge of honor in a way, because it's I actually got to do a project. I actually got to work on something that was, fighting at least a little bit of a fight against some of the industry, political standards that Hollywood has.
In her growing up, Brett Cooper faced family troubles, one being that her older brother was struggling with drug addiction and schizophrenia.
My oldest brother was mostly, in my opinion, due to the death of his twin, who's my brother, so I have brothers who are identical twins, and Reed, who is the surviving twin, watched David die. And he has, I don't think ever really recovered for that. It's been 16 years since David's death now, and Reed spiraled years after that. So at the time, he left college and went to India for 4 years, did hard drugs, and came back totally different. It was his way of coping, and then he had a psychotic break. So my brother is now, at this point when I'm 15, he is diagnosed schizophrenic. So he was at the time on the street, and he refused medication, and schizophrenics can often be violent.
In which served as a danger to her. And also in all of that, her parents were going through a divorce, and she wanted to avoid being caught in the middle of custody disputes. Seeking independence and stability, Brett pursued legal emancipation, which allowed her to make decisions for herself and focus on her acting career without parental interference. To support herself financially during this period, she worked at Trader Joe's.
So I was 15, got a job at Trader Joe's, worked there until 2021. I kept that job throughout all
Seriously?
of my acting. Yeah, all throughout college.
As she attended tertiary level of education, especially while in UCLA studying literature, she will spark an intrigue into politics, and this was seen by writing for the Foundation for Economic Education and became an ambassador for PragerU and Turning Point USA. In her time at school, particularly during events like the George Floyd protest and the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, she will be loud in her political view, that being she will not vote for Biden and faced heightened hate amongst her peers.
Just past the midterms, and George Floyd and BLM, and I never intended to make a political statement. I just kind of realized that there wasn't as much love and tolerance as I thought there was. And I knew that most of my friends thought differently than I did. I was in a very liberal industry. I was still acting when I was at UCLA. Yeah, I literally did nothing other than saying, I'm not a registered Democrat.
That's what you said?
Yeah, and I'm not voting for Bernie or Biden in the midterms. I had communist manifestos chucked at my head. I walked into a party, literally had one, hey Brett, fucking read this.
A testament of how an opinion cannot be respected in a very sensitive society. January 2022. The world is introduced to the comment section with Brett Cooper.
Okay, so we all do it. We stay up way later than we should, laying in bed, scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, trying to find content that is not angry leftists having a meltdown. That's where the comment section comes in.
A conservative world that was filled with many old heads. And with her coming into this commentary landscape, it made us stand as a beacon for many young people like you and me that we can be stern when it comes to religious, moral, and political views.
My life is literally overrun by woke ideologies. Like I'm telling you guys, when I was at UCLA, I had two communist manifestos chucked at my head, literally. Like, forgive my passion, but guys, like, I lost friends over this because I wouldn't support BLM and I wouldn't shut up about my political beliefs. And it doesn't end in school. I mean, our pop culture, all of our movies, our social media, they are all run by progressive mentalities. It's obnoxious. So we've decided to change that.
In her tenure at Daily Wire, she not only entertained but created a buzz, a community where intellect and reasoning accompanied with maturity actually resides. She never did it for the clicks and the fame, even though it came with its perks, but rather enlighten us.
This car makes you feel like a man. Like I'm a woman, but driving this makes you feel like a man. That's not how it works, you freak. I'm sorry, Mom. His facial hair, it's not going to cut it this time. Back to this other very well-preserved artifact. And we're not talking about my skin anymore. Thank you very much. No, that was so bad. Sorry, guys. Had to do the plug. She was actually wearing clothes, which was very odd for a lot of people to see, including myself. I'm so funny, hee hee. Hoorah! Not at all, you weird freaks. Family-friendly my ass. She goes by Bad Baby, and every time I say it, I just can't believe this is my life, and it's unfortunate. Don't worry, she has her clothes on. She's not rapping. It's just so wild. But you know what? I'm here for it. I really don't want my future daughter making $50 million a year on OnlyFans. I would hope that she makes her money doing something else.
This is kind of a crazy story that my friend James Lee broke like a week ago. He got a source from the Daily Wire that gave him like an inside scoop on the fact that the Daily Wire is pushing Brett Cooper out. And I was like, and I know who she is. She's great at her job. She does what she does. Yeah. And so I go and look up her channel and I'm like, wait a minute. She's still producing videos though. What's going on? Yeah. And so I started digging in more. I talked to James, then I went and I started digging in and found my own source right at the Daily Wire. And now I've had even more come and corroborate it since I reported on it. And it's not just that the Daily Wire is pushing out Brett Cooper. It's actually that Brett Cooper is under one of these contracts that has her basically tied to secrecy and silence, because now that they're terminating her contract, their arbitration clauses are coming into play. So she is in a secret court of arbitration, not a public court, where she is under NDA and can't say anything about it while they spin whatever narrative they want about it. And they're circulating around letters internally that are saying like, oh, Brett Cooper wants to leave. And that is not the case at all, apparently, according to everyone at the Daily Wire that I've spoken to. And it's that she had disagreements with Jeremy Boring over what happened with Candace probably, and certainly more disagreements in terms of like the culture there and what's going on, and is now getting pushed out. They are promoting her best friend, who was her maid of honor at her wedding. They offered her a contract that was so lucrative she couldn't refuse it.
The best friend that her bestie was already offered.
Producer Reagan,
bridesmaid.
Yeah, her producer was her bridesmaid at her wedding this year. And they apparently allegedly gave her acting classes to help her imitate Brett's mannerisms. No. And when I was talking to a girl with the family I was staying with before, she's like an 18-year-old chick that loves Brett Cooper. She's a total super fan. And she was like, yeah, the Reagan episodes are kind of weird.
Welcome back to the comment section. I am producer Reagan. I am filling in for Brett today and guest hosting the show. And don't worry, Brett will be back on Monday, but I am here today. And I'm normally the one sitting over there in the chair, but Bobby is filling in for me today, and I am sitting in this chair, bringing you some very interesting stories. Hello again, and welcome back to the comment section. I am producer Reagan. I'm normally there, but today I'm here again filling in for Brett. I was also here last Friday filming.
And we really didn't think much of it, only had we known the conniving plan for the takeover. And then later in 2024, we received this news.
Hey guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. I have had the most unbelievable 3 years helping to craft the show, building this community, and telling stories and sharing the truth every day. Through the comment section, you all have made me braver, more articulate, more thoughtful, more hopeful than I could have ever imagined. And I'm grateful that we spent this time together. And I'm grateful that the Daily Wire gave us a platform to grow this community. But at this point in my life, I am ready to take on a new direction, both personally and professionally. This means new challenges and new endeavors, which I will share with you soon.
What? Who? What is happening? Those were my first thoughts. The world went on a frenzy, and everyone was quick to make judgments on what could have happened. Was it a dispute against the higher-ups? Who knows? Her so-called best friend takes over completely. A brand that was built by Brett Cooper's personality. We loved her for her and not a mere channel news outlet. And so when she left, we left with her. We could not stay with a backstabbing good-for-nothing copycat brand. Thus, when she became her own independent media, the proof was in the pudding. Daily Wire had lost and so did Reagan. The numbers don't lie, and we walk on this new adventure with Brett Cooper.
When you left, your maid of honor, best friend, was it Reagan? Is that her name? Took over the comments section. How did that feel?
Friendships are hard.
Are you guys still friends?
I don't say so.
Would you like to still be friends?
Of course.
Do you want to say anything to her?
That's a difficult question. But at the end of the day, I do. I wish you success and I wish you well. And I hope that she chases the things that she wants, and I never wish that, to not work for anybody.
She did get the last laugh.